Hey there guys, welcome back for another Warhammer Imperium Magazine review. Today we are looking at issue 2, and with this issue we get our first pot of paint, Runelord Brass. So that's obviously a paint colour for the Necrons. We also get a paintbrush to apply said paint, and I have to admit the point on this one is pretty good for it being a starter brush. Usually the starter brushes aren't great. They're used for applying the base colours but not much else. They tend to mess up quite quick, but I have to admit this one doesn't seem too bad. So that's the paint and brush, and we get then get 3 models to apply it to. Now these guys, Nikon Warriors. So these are the basic core troops of the Necron army. Now the guys we get here, we get 3 of them. These are from the starter painting set that you can buy from Games Workshop, which comes with these guys plus the starter brush, and I think it's 6 paints, all of which we will get within the collection, and it is designed or aimed at getting a start into painting and collecting Warhammer 40,000. They also do a Space Marine version. Again, we'll get that in the collection too. Now they've included the models in this, but we will also be getting 20 more Necron Warriors split over 4 issues. So what I would recommend is using these guys to practice techniques or colour schemes to help decide what you want to go with for your army, if you don't want to go with the one the magazine is showing. But they're not going to be great for use with the main army, as typically you want units of 10 or 20 rather than 13 or 23. You could do, but obviously that's your choice. Me personally, I prefer an even number and larger units. So I would personally use these 3 for practice, maybe practice in a test scheme, but they're not going to be great for use with the main army. Now these come with 3 bases, however you may have noticed I only have 2 here. That's because I used one of the bases for a Necron Warrior I had lost the base for to paint up a test scheme that I was going to do for the series instead of my current army. And this is the guy here. So if I can get him in focus, getting a zoom in on him here. But yeah, so what I was going for was a dark and gloomy rusty type look, as though he had originally had sort of green armor, like an olive green on the shoulders and sort of the outer leg armor, and then over time that's become rusted, chipped and faded, just to give him a really worn down, mucky sort of look. Although I like the model, I've decided to use the Imperium Necron army to bolster my existing army, which obviously aren't done in this style. But what I will do is show you guys how I painted this one up on a future video, maybe the first issue of 5 Necrons that we get, which I do believe is issue 9. But for this issue I'll paint one of my existing army colours, which you can find up in the cards in the corner, and then like I say, next issue where we get these, I'll paint this one up, and then any further Necron Warrior issues I'll paint them in various schemes, starting with the Sarikan style here. So that's the models, the paint and the paintbrush that we get in this issue. Okay guys, so as I mentioned, the first part of the video of what we get and stuff, I've had to do a voiceover, and then I'm completely redoing the magazine review because of poor audio. But from issue 3 onwards, I'm going to record it this way, using the iPhone for camera, but the camera mic or the webcam mic for recording audio until after Christmas, when I'll be getting an actual decent streaming mic, hopefully, and then we can start improving the audio. So yeah, so let's have a look at the issue, shall we? So we've got our Necron Warriors, and these are Part D troops for the Necrons, part of the factions. Like I said before, these go in your folder. And for these we have Nikon Warriors are deadly when commanded in great numbers. Their living metal bodies can repair terrible damage, while their volleys of gauze fire slay the foe with robotic efficiency. So they get these weapons here. Gauze flayers. Gauze flayers fire beams of energy that can reduce their targets to atomic particles. Now the models that we've got in this obviously only had the gauze flayers, but those are just the models from the start painting set. When it comes to the actual models that we'll be able to use for the armies, I'm assuming they include these three as well, but the 20 that we get for the army, they actually come with an alternate weapons choice. Me personally, what I will be doing is what I did with the Indomitus set and building the first 10 that we get with the gauze flayers, and then the second 10 that we get I'll be doing with the I think they're gauze blasters, I think they're called, but yeah, they're a stubbier gun with double barrels. They're a little bit more, less range but a bit more power in them, so I like to have half and half. So a 20 troop army for this will be 10 with the flayers and 10 with the blasters. So again, we have the battle record here, where you can record damage for your unit, their names or whatever, depending on what the unit itself is, task and record of battle and such things as that. Then we have the Sarikan Dynasty. Now this is the dynasty that we are going to be painting if you are following the magazine. It's the featured army for the magazine is the Sarikan, and like I said, it will be the Ultramarines for the Space Marines. Me, however, I'm painting them in my own custom faction, which is based on the Sarikan Dynasty. They're sort of like a spin-off cast of the Sarikan, so they have their own nobility, but they are essentially part of these. It means that I can give them a slightly different paint job, so hopefully you'll enjoy the painting videos on how I do those as well. So the Sarikan Dynasty, the Sarikan is the dynasty of the Silent King. The return of their leader has given them new purpose, and they now strike out against any who oppose his will. Unfortunately, we do not get the Sarikan, the Silent King model with this. I think he is about £95, so a bit of a pricey model to be expecting to come in to, you know, 2 or 3 issues. He is a model that I will be getting from my collection at some point next year. He is fairly new. He is new to 9th edition. He wasn't in previous editions. So yeah, he is the Necron's latest HQ unit, or latest model really. Impressive model, and yeah. So we've got a little bit of background on him, Sarek. So Sarek is the last of the Silent Kings, the monarchs who once ruled the race known as the Necrontire before they became the Necrons. Having spent millions of years in self-imposed exile, he has returned to unite his people once more. At the heart of the Pariah Nexus, he and his followers have begun to craft a weapon of immense power, the effects of which can already be felt in dozens of other star systems. Should he succeed, this weapon may be capable of wiping out all life and restoring the Necron race to their rightful position as undisputed masters of the galaxy. Then we have Ultramarines. So this will be for chapters 1. So obviously this is going to go through the different chapters of the Space Marines. So Warriors of Macragge, which I always used to pronounce as Macragge or Macragge, but apparently it's Macragge. So the Ultramarines represent their very essence of what it means to be a Space Marine. They are noble, honourable and disciplined warriors in a galaxy divided by war and disorder. For 10,000 years they have served the Emperor, taking the fight to his enemies with courage and honour. Now, as I said last issue, the Ultramarines, they really are the generic basic go-to army. They do have their own special rules, special characters and such like that,
But if you want a nice, easy, all-round army without too much complication into any kind of specializations, then the Ultramarines are one of the easier armies. For example, White Scars tend to field a lot of bikes. Space Wolves will feature a lot of slightly different models because of their faction. Blood Angels tend to have specialist close combat units. So yeah, generally Ultramarines are sort of a very well-rounded army. And as you can see here, there's quite a force, quite a selection of models. We don't get all of these. In fact, obviously we don't get any of the vehicles. We don't get the Terminators. We do get Rabute Gilliman. We get these 3 aggressors down here. We get a squad of assault intercessors, but we don't have any here. And no, we don't even get the Reavers. So yeah, awesome looking image. We get pretty much nothing, at least here. But yeah, so how to build the Nikon Warriors. Obviously I'll let you guys go through this. We'll just have a quick flick through it. 3 models, super easy. Now these are push fit, but I always glue push fit models anyway, just to make sure they fit in nicely. One thing I will say is you can paint these with the weapons on. It's not too much of a problem getting behind them, but if you want to paint them with them off, what I do, on this arm there's a peg that goes into the body. I actually clip that off. This one you can leave on, it's not a problem, but this one, if you glue the body together and leave the arms off, but obviously with attached to the weapon, you can't get this arm back into the hole into the body. You can't get the peg in. So what I do is paint the model up with the arm separate, put some glue in both holes, push this one into place and this one on the other side. Obviously you get a little bit of flexibility. Push it in and then hold it there just for a minute for the glue to set and take, and then that's enough to hold it in there, because as long as you don't cut off this little nubbly piece here, see if we can zoom in on that. So as long as we don't cut off this piece, what you're looking to do is cut off the yellow piece. The camera's not picking it up too well, but in the magazine you can see there's a yellow bit. I clip that off just so I can get the arm to slot straight in and out. And obviously this side you leave on, it's just on this arm, the little yellow bit. If you don't want to risk clipping it off, then don't glue the body and you can actually pull the body apart. You can pull the body back apart to put the arms back in once you've painted, but like I said, you can get behind them for the most part. So if you're too worried about pulling apart or mould lines, gaps, anything like that, then assemble it whole and don't worry too much about it. Then we've got the how to paint. Now again, you can follow this guide if you are painting your armies the same way that they are going to tell you, so the Sarikan and the Ultramarines. There are also plenty of videos on YouTube and guides and stuff on how to paint them in different chapters or different factions. If you want to see Dark Angels and my custom army, then that's primarily what I'm going to be focusing on. But with spare models, I will show how to paint a couple of different dynasties, and especially with the chapters, I'll be showing all 9 of the Space Marines chapters. That's the obviously the main chapters, not their offshoots. So then we've got the playthrough. As always, I'm not going to go through this too much, we'll just have a quick flick. If you want to check me playing the playthrough, up in the corner here, you can see how I do the playthrough. And remember, I'm only doing it for the first 10 issues, unless I get a a decent ratio of views to likes. So if you do like those playthroughs and you want to see me continue, then make sure you ding the bell, hit the like button on those videos, so that I can get a good judgment on whether or not they are popular. So the models used, or the 2 factions, obviously Necrons, but we've got the Primaris Lieutenant from the previous issue and the Necron Warriors from this issue. It's a fairly simple one. Get the Nikon Warriors, or at least one of them, off the other board, or off the other edge of the board. We've got their stats here, obviously, that we can go through, and then the rules. As far as I can remember, there are no special extra rules added in this one. This is the same phases: the move, shoot, saves and allocate wounds as previously. Typically what they'll do, if there is something new, it will be highlighted in red. Either up here, they'll add an extra section in that is red, or somewhere in the data sheet, if it's something new, then it will be highlighted in red so that we know it is something new to that issue that we haven't learned before. So yeah, they show you how to play through. Watch how I play it, read how they do it, play it through yourselves. I recommend playing through, you know, a few times, get used to playing through, and then next issue you can do the same again. And that there is the end of this issue. So we have next week the 3 Assault Intercessors and a pot of Macragge Blue, and I will be painting up this guy as an Ultramarine, so be sure to check back next week for that. If you hit that subscribe button right now and ding that bell, then you'll get a notification of when that video goes up, so you can check out how I paint him. Week after, we get some Scorpec Destroyers and Lead Belcher. Very much worth the money, this. I think you're saving about £18, maybe a little bit less, somewhere between £15 and £18 you're saving on buying these guys for the price of the magazine, especially once you add the price of the Lead Belcher in there as well. And the one that I'll be painting for that week, I think it's this one, so I'll show how to paint that guy in a couple of weeks time. But that is it for the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and you'll get notifications every Wednesday of when a new video or bunch of videos goes live. Obviously there's going to be the magazine reviews, the painting video and the playthrough every week, so 3 videos every Wednesday to hopefully keep you entertained. And if you are recently subscribed, then a big warm welcome to the inner circle. Thank you for subscribing. It does mean a lot that you are enjoying the videos enough to want to see more. But until next time, guys, take it easy. Keep painting those minis.